Knock, knock. Hello? Oh, there you are. Seems you've been hunkered down in the old home office lately. Yay. Where we've all been dealing with some new operational challenges to productivity. Look, I get it. These are strange times, challenging times that try an overachiever's soul. But have you let that slow you down? Not for 1 second. I mean, come on, this is you we're talking about here. You adapted, you overcame, you even picked up some new skills. It hasn't been easy, but you've kept business running smoothly with smarter ways to workflow. So pull up a chair and let's get this virtual party started. It's time to celebrate work that works better. It's time to get connected, get inspired, and get educated. Welcome to the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience.
Welcome to the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience and welcome to the new norm. I'm Georgie Barrett and I'm delighted to be your host for this event. As you can quite clearly see, I'm not joining you live on stage in Florida, which is most unfortunate. Instead, I'm joining you from my humble home in London. Now, it's hard to believe what has taken place across the globe in the last 5 months and just how rapidly the way we all work has changed. We're going to be exploring all that and more over the next 6 weeks during the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. We have an action-packed event for you, but what better way to kick things off than with ServiceNow's CEO, Bill McDermott. Bill, a very warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Georgie. Great to be with you at the Knowledge 2020.
I know, it's really exciting. It's amazing to be here. So, Bill, ServiceNow's customers are pretty unique. They've been doing some amazing things and have just really been using the power of the Now platform to help them through the current environment. I love this. You call the Now platform the platform of all platforms and a workflow workhorse. Tell me more. What are you hearing from customers at the moment?
Well, our customers want us to keep bringing that hungry and humble ServiceNow culture to their doorstep. They have to bring a consumer-grade experience to their companies. They're tying together web, mobile, and all the conversational tools that an enterprise has, along with 50 years of complexity in the systems of record that these companies have built. Our workflow workhorse, or that platform of platforms, designs workflow in a way that gives people great experiences. That could be employees, it could be customers, but we're driving growth, innovation, and productivity. And that's what Knowledge 2020 is all about, Georgie.
You know what? There's going to be such a wealth of content coming out of the next 6 weeks. I think it will really be an opportunity for the community to just come together and share ideas. As we are at the launch, Bill, what are you looking forward to the most?
Georgie, as you know, the true measure of a leader is not what they take from this world, it's what they give it. And none of us could possibly be as smart as all of us. So what we would like to see, no matter where you come from in the world, no matter the industry you're in, or what persona you have in your organization, bring your knowledge to Knowledge 2020. Share your know-how, make friends, and let's build a community together that really sustains us until Knowledge 2021 together.
I like how you're already planning a whole year ahead.
You have to have a vision.
You do. And you know, just what you were saying about that whole sort of all coming together, I think magical things really do happen when you get that cross-fertilization of ideas, don't they?
Indeed. It's what it's all about. You know, let's build friendships. You know, the world's at a seminal moment right now. And probably this is the moment where we can all align on that, because we have been through a lot. And there's a lot now that we must do to get business on track, get the world on track. And Knowledge 2020 is the perfect place to really get it roaring.
Hear, hear. And talking of friendships, can we be the first friendship out of Knowledge 2020?
Count on it. Full life. Let's go.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much, Bill. I'm going to be hearing much more from Bill on the 3rd of June, right here on the ServiceNow platform. You really won't want to miss it. Bill is a transformational leader, a CEO who I think will really just get you feeling inspired and dreaming big. So we have fresh content coming for you every week. Do spend the next month getting as much as you can out of Knowledge 2020. And it will end, of course, with Bill's keynote, where he'll be looking towards the future and what that might hold. Now, as Bill mentioned, working together with customers and partners is now more important than ever. And that's just what ServiceNow did with the state of Washington when COVID-19 hit. It's really a remarkable story that Chris Beddy, Chief Information Officer of ServiceNow, talked about with Jennifer McNamara and Callie Goldsby. Have a little look.
Thank you, Georgie. It truly is an amazing story. Jennifer, Callie, take us back to that time. What was it like on Ground Zero?
Yes, thanks, Chris. After the first U.S. case was diagnosed here, the Department of Health established our incident command structure. During that first week, I was called up to our public health lab for a briefing, and then I was deployed to our State Emergency Operations Center at Camp Murray to establish a command post. Over the coming days, I noticed how much manual effort and time our team was spending supporting the planning and finance functions of the response. So I invited Callie and our enterprise system support team up to see what was happening at Camp Murray. I was hoping that we'd be able to leverage ServiceNow to develop a solution, and that was the start of something great.
Complex situation, no doubt. Can you elaborate a little bit on the problem you were trying to solve, the approach you took, and the speed at which you were able to operate?
Well, Chris, I got to say, with all of the manual processes that were involved in the incident, there was really a problem with lots of errors happening, lots of extra complicated spreadsheets. Myself, I'm the deputy in the agency, and I work with 10 other peers, and we had to spend several hours every day in a room together to try and figure out the staffing for this incident, as well as when the team and I went up to Camp Murray to see on the ground what was happening, we could absolutely tell that they needed a technology automated solution, and ServiceNow was the right platform to be able to do that. And I think the great thing about that is that we reached out to ServiceNow, and you guys were able to provide some team support to us right away. You came up and you helped us plan out what we were going to do with this application. And we quickly got to work and began developing this application. And within 3 weeks, we put it in place. And what was so cool about that is that it immediately provided value to our customers. They were able to move things through quicker for the incident. And the other thing that was really cool is we were able to build this in a way that you guys were able to put it in your catalog and offer it free to other organizations who are going through the same thing. So I got to say that being able to build this in ServiceNow and having your partnership helped us move this quickly. And the Now platform is the way to get it there.
Thank you again for your incredible generosity. Leadership at times like this is everything. You operated with speed, with decisiveness. What advice would you have for other IT leaders or CIOs in the wake of a crisis?
For CIOs and leaders to look to those key partners with whom they have trusted relationships built on previous success. We received an overwhelming response, offers from vendors and partners, and it can be distracting and difficult to manage in a crisis like this. So we chose to leverage our relationship and our investment strategically with ServiceNow in a purposeful way. And we were able to build this emergency response operations app in record time and put it into place, capability that would have taken years, perhaps, if it weren't for the urgency of the COVID-19 response. And we could not have done this alone without ServiceNow.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Callie. Georgie, back to you.
Well, thank you to Chris Beddy from ServiceNow and Jennifer McNamara and Callie Goldsby from Washington State's Department of Health. And let me just emphasize what Chris, Jennifer and Callie just walked us through literally took place in a matter of days. Planning, there simply wasn't any time for that. The app development and implementation had to be immediate. Now, in a minute, we're going to turn to the head of innovation at ServiceNow for insight into this new digital world we all live in. But first, have a little look at this.
Derek, Seems like your team's operating just fine remotely.
Yeah, everything is running smoothly with the Now platform. See? Incident resolved.
How did you...
Gotta enjoy the small wins.
You keep being you, Derek. Keep being you.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
I mean, I wish I could tell you that I'm about to pull off a stunt like that, but unfortunately, I forgot to bring my confetti cannon, which is most unfortunate because I tell you, I'll be popping it right now to welcome the Chief Innovation Officer from ServiceNow, Mr. Dave Wright. Welcome, Dave.
Hi, Georgie. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Good. So, Dave, it'd be really great to chat to you about the importance of digital transformation and the speed with which it needs to be approached. But to begin with, I'd just love to get your reaction, really, from a business perspective to all the change that we've seen take place over the last few months. It's not been for the faint-hearted, has it?
Absolutely not. It's been amazing. I think if it wasn't for the technology advances we've seen in the last 10 or 15 years, we just couldn't have responded the way that we have. When you think about what's happening now, this is the epitome of actually doing transformation at the speed of business. We're living digital transformation in real time. You think about the way we're doing this meeting now. You look at people's home offices where they're doing Zoom meetings. They've got green screens. Digital is not just supporting the business anymore. Digital has become the business.
Yeah, I think absolutely that switch has definitely taken place. And I think many companies that were actually quite worried about that have almost been surprised about how quickly and smoothly we've been able to transform. But it doesn't always work, does it? What would you say the key to successful evolution is?
I think the people that have been really successful doing this are the ones that are led with technology. So unless you can define a workflow, you're not going to give people a great experience, because behind every great experience is a great workflow. But I think what history has shown us is that whenever the world faces a challenge like the current pandemic we're in, you start to see new ways of thinking emerge. So effectively, for me, crisis is the mother of innovation. So innovation is relentless. It's always going on.
I know, and that relentlessness I do find really exciting. You know, it feels like there's so much opportunity out there. So if digital is now the new norm, that must mean it's a bonus for employees, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so, because what everyone's looking for now is a great experience. And that's what we kind of give them at ServiceNow. But it's not just something that's clean and beautiful. An experience is way more than that. What we're able to do is take all the friction out of it, because we can look across the enterprise, break down all the silos, and stitch together workflows so it goes right across the enterprise. Now, what that leads to is a much easier way of working and a much better productivity. What you need to do is be able to take the technology and allow employees, or customers for that matter, to be able to use that technology to solve some of their own issues. So use technologies like virtual agents, use self-service technologies, all to be able to get things done in this new way of working.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, taking the friction out of work is surely what any enterprise is working towards. Dave, that's a great place to leave it. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Okay, several sessions are now available. You can see them in the schedule, and all of our channels will launch soon, including IT, employee and customer workflows, and the Now platform, to name but a few. We really do have a feast of live and on-demand content, especially curated for our attendees, as well as lots of opportunities for interaction over the next 6 weeks. So make sure you come back each week, as we'll be adding some amazing content throughout the event, of course, leading up to Bill's keynote on the 3rd of June. Regardless of which channels you follow, I'm sure you'll quickly learn how you can drive rapid change in your company by leveraging the power of Now. So if you fancied it, you can join me right now for the main keynotes. These, like most of the content you'll find on here, are around 20 minutes long and will also be made available on demand after the keynote is finished. You know what? There's really something here for everyone, so make sure you check out all the channels. For now, I'm Georgie Barrett. Thank you for watching and enjoy the Knowledge 2020 digital experience. We'd like to give a special thank you to our premier sponsors, Accenture, Deloitte, DXC, EY, Infosys, and KPMG.
Derek, seems like your team's operating just fine remotely.
Yeah, everything is running smoothly with the Now platform. See? Incident resolved.
How did you...
Gotta enjoy the small wins.
You keep being you, Derek. Keep being you.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Welcome to the IT Workflows keynote here at the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. I'm Georgie Barrett. Now, we are living and working in unprecedented times. In just the last few weeks, a large part of the workforce has adapted to a completely new way of operating. Working from home is, of course, today's normal, and businesses of every kind are now becoming more digital. And that's what Pablo Stern, Senior Vice President and General Manager of IT Workflows for ServiceNow, and I are here to talk about today. A very warm welcome to you, Pablo.
Thanks, Georgie. I'm really excited to be here. And you're absolutely right. IT's had to move really quickly to adapt to this change. At ServiceNow, we had to move to take our 10,000 employees remote virtually overnight. And IT was really the hero of that transformation. Let's listen to what some of them had to say about this.
There was just no playbook to mobilize our entire global workforce to work from home on such short notice.
We had to ensure that our employees never faced disruption.
We had to scale to provide network and support services to the whole company to enable the users to work from home.
We had to continue providing our new hires with the best day one experience.
All those sound bites could have come from any IT team in any industry. Now, we're going to dig into this in some more detail, but first, let's just take a little look at the latest IT Workflows advert from ServiceNow.
Hey, Kirk.
Morning, Russell.
Does Kirk seem different to you?
Ever since we gone mobile on the Now platform, he seems more
confident.
It's like he's a different person.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's infectious.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
That is some good hair. Right, Pablo, we have seen a seismic shift over the past couple of months, haven't we? Where businesses have really had to work remotely overnight. I mean, IT departments have had it hard, haven't they?
Georgie, you're absolutely right. And it really started with teams having to work remotely overnight. But then it moved on. Dev teams had to adapt. Take the state of Washington, for instance. They had to put out a response operations application quickly to enable their teams. And then beyond that, look at security. The perimeter changed as we went from being in the enterprise to going global. And through all this change, IT had to keep work flowing.
I mean, you know, digital has been at the heart of business for a while, but I really feel like the corona pandemic has put it center stage, don't you think?
For sure. Digital is the new normal. You know, when I talk to customers, I hear three core things that are themes for them and their priorities. The first one is they have to modernize. They have to deliver an experience both for their employees so they can be more productive and for customers so they're satisfied with the services of the company. Then secondly, they're looking at AI and ML to invest and drive more operational productivity in their enterprise. And with both of these investments, what we're finding is that they're driving more innovation. They're trying to get to innovate more quickly because digital is becoming the backbone of the enterprise and IT is raising digital. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Why is that?
Well, if you think about it, Georgie, HR has a system of record. Finance has a system of record. Sales has a system of record. But IT is a rat's nest held together by baling wire. But you know, this comes down to the mission that we have at ServiceNow, which is really about unifying that world of work. And the way you can do it is with the platform for IT. Because with that, what we're doing is we're bringing together everybody in the CIO staff, the PMO, dev teams, ops teams, the service desk, your architects, your security team, all together, all on one platform, all natively.
Amazing. So this sort of one platform brings together all those disparate parts that traditionally make up IT.
That's right. That's why we call it the platform for IT. If you think of this, most of our customers actually have taken this and are on this journey already. And what I hear is this journey is really taken in 3 steps. Users being more self-sufficient, driving that modern experience. That's step 1. The second step is getting to that operational productivity and driving those efficiencies in the business. And then third, and this is super important, is putting IT at the backbone of driving that innovation, transforming how they innovate and the speed that they deliver digital at.
Okay, so let's go into those 3 points in a little bit more detail. So step 1, that was all about modernization, yeah?
That's right. Those modern experiences start with moving to the cloud. Now, we all know that, but taking your service management experience and driving it into the cloud is a foundational step. But beyond that, what we're really focused on is we're focusing on making tickets a thing of the past. And we do that by thinking about the agents. How do we help them, enable them and empower them with everything they need right at their fingertips?
Okay, so that's the agent's experience. What about the end user's experience?
Right, yeah, and those come hand in hand. Agent and the end user, whether it's the employee or the customer. There we're driving self-service. We're adding chatbot capabilities, leveraging the AI and ML that we have to really drive workflow so that they can get their work done, get answers quickly, and move on.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2, that was, you called it resilient operations. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so driving that resilience, it starts with a foundation. Think of one command center, one place, whether it's your NOC, your SOC, your service desk, bringing it all together so everybody's working on a common platform driven with one experience. And after that, using AI and ML for what it can really do, which is drive insight to help you take actions. And what that means for our customers is you're reducing your time to resolve issues and you're starting to predict and prevent issues before they even occur.
Brilliant. And then the final step is doing all this, but doing this quickly and at speed.
Yeah, that's right. Driving that speed of innovation. You see, most of our customers are in transition. They're going agile, they're driving to DevOps, but they're also coming from a world that has waterfall, has legacy systems, and they're bridging across both of those. At ServiceNow, we think about a hybrid world and how do we unify those two for our customers. And then for those that are moving forward with DevOps, we're providing solutions so the dev teams can continue to work with their tools of choice, but they can be connected back to IT and collaborate in true DevOps fashion. I'd like to bring George Rubio on, our technical Superman, to show you a demo of how all this comes together.
Thank you, Pablo. Now in this demo, we have our employee, Joe, who works for Solana Corp. And he's working from home these days, like many others are in this new normal environment we're living in. Now, Joe's been having issues with his corporate VPN, and it's really starting to affect his productivity. So Joe pulls out his mobile phone, opens the ServiceNow mobile application, and launches their virtual agent. Now, using natural language, Joe states VPN connectivity issues. Now, the virtual agent immediately responds and prompts Joe for some additional information. The virtual agent will use this to go out and triage his issue and ultimately reset his gateway to get him back on the network. Now, Joe was able to solve his problem without ever having to open a ticket or contact an agent. Now, as you saw, Joe solved his VPN issue with virtual agent, but there's many other employees that are starting to experience VPN issues as well. And that brings us to Naomi, who's our network operations manager. She's working in Operator Workspace, monitoring all the important business services that are critical across the entire enterprise. And she sees that the core VPN service has gone red. This is concerning to her, so she'll drill into the details and, more importantly, look at the service map for this particular service. And she, in fact, sees that there's an alert on the server for the virtual firewall systems. It seems to be a high CPU alert. And this could potentially be due to all the new remote workers that the company is having to support. So Naomi wants to look at this alert further. She sees that it's critical in nature, but more importantly, she sees that machine learning has actually automatically generated an incident to track this. Naomi, looking a bit further, will actually see that the machine learning component is also attached to a number of similar incidents here. This could be a potential outage on its way. So she's going to actually open up a problem record so that a code change can be made to the virtual firewalls to support all these new remote workers and make sure that nothing happens and that everyone can stay online. Now, Naomi actually created that problem record, but we have our product owner, Eileen, who can actually go into her triage board and pull that problem right into the development backlog. Eileen moved that story over to the network infrastructure team, and they happen to work in Azure DevOps. Now, because of the built-in integrations with ServiceNow, Paul, who's our developer, is able to see that story in his Azure dashboard. Looking a bit further, he can actually activate that story and dive right into the code base for the virtual firewalls, make the updates, and commit that code into production. Now, Paul's able to see that the build and test process is finished just fine. So he's going to move down back into the ServiceNow pipeline UI to see the deployment into production via DevOps automated change. Now, because this change fit within a risk ranking for an automated change, it was executed from start to finish without any approvals. That code change is in production, and those virtual firewalls have been expanded. We now come back to Naomi, who's still monitoring all those critical business services across the enterprise, but she's happy to see that the Corp VPN service is green now. And here you saw in this demo how ServiceNow's platform for IT was able to provide an end-to-end solution for Solana Corp.
Thanks, George. Pablo, I thought that demo was really good in demonstrating just how the platform not only helps people innovate, but actually innovate incredibly quickly.
Georgia, you're absolutely right. Really, what it shows is as customers adopt this software factory as their platform for IT, they can really drive to outcomes. But it doesn't just happen internally. Some of our customers are driving some of these outcomes as well. Take, for instance, Danske Bank, who has driven in the Nordics the ability to not only deliver that modern experience, but it's really reducing incidents that are coming into the system. Or if you think about operational productivity, I think a great example is Beachbody. We've been focused on reducing outages through ServiceNow. And in terms of innovation, Wayfair, with their platform that is driving innovation backbone by ServiceNow workflows, is driving and showing how they can innovate quickly. So not only do we see this happening in a demo, but we've got actually many customer examples that are showing some of those same outcomes.
Three very strong examples there. Now, Pablo, you mentioned AI and machine learning earlier. Have you got any examples around AI that really shows how it can simplify work?
Yeah, Georgia, the key thing our customers are asking us for is how do you make that AI ML accessible to everybody? And that's where our predictive intelligence workbench comes in. It really democratizes AI and ML. It tells you when you should use it, what value you're going to get, and how to enable it quickly.
So it's very accessible to anybody. You don't need to be a coder to be able to work it.
Yeah, that's how we designed it, with those principles exactly in mind. And I really love our Hardware Asset Management Pro, driving the hardware lifecycle. We've really invested in the asset space, bringing software and hardware together, and enabling you to bridge from everything you have on-prem into the cloud.
And we actually have an example of hardware asset management in action. Here's how Lowe's is using it.
IT field services was in need of an asset management system. ServiceNow served that need. Current state, we're able to capture 1.2 million assets throughout the system in an automated way through workflows.
Phase 1 of our mobile development took roughly 65 hours. In our phase 2 development, we're looking at making API calls out to different shipping carriers to be able to bring back a shipping label to print via a mobile printer.
With the new mobile process, we are seeing an efficiency gain to 3%. In phase 2, we're looking to streamline the process even further, possibly up to 20%.
A big shout out to our customer success team and our account executive team.
Really informative demo there of ServiceNow's new hardware asset management product. Let's now bring another customer story into the mix. Delta Airlines has been leading the pack during the COVID pandemic. Their customer engagement initiatives have been admirable. And while, of course, Delta's IT department have worked hard to achieve such things, they were also very well positioned because they had a single platform of IT with ServiceNow. Pablo caught up with Majid Masseni, Director of Operations at Delta, to find out more.
Majid, it's great to see you again. So can you tell us what Delta is doing through the current climate in terms of priorities? Hey, Pablo, it's great seeing you too, and thanks for the invitation. As you know, Delta's long history of providing exceptional customer service and a great culture of taking care of our employee set the following three priorities in response to COVID-19. The first and most important one was the health of our employees. Second is taking care of our customers. And third is maintaining airline operation for essential services.
And how is Delta acting on these priorities?
Well, the two major track that we were taking with a tremendous amount of effort contributed by our IT team was first in compliance with that health official, that social distancing. They had to set up 30,000 employees to work from home and making sure the health of those are taking in place. And then the second part is focusing on the stability of our critical IT systems in support of airlines operations, where the cancellations or ground stops or refunds comes into our customers and making sure that they are seeing the stability of those systems that will give our res agents the capabilities of taking care of our customers.
So moving a large global workforce to remote almost overnight and then making sure that planes keep flying, that makes a lot of sense. So how did ServiceNow help you through this?
The advantage of being on a single platform provided us with three major advantage in this area. First and most important one was the ITSM, where we used the incident management workflow and looking at all the support functionality that our help desk agent had to do in response to those work from home users, and providing self-service knowledge article and focusing on areas that might have add a lot of value to our customers. That was number one. The second part was the reliability of our systems, where we looked and make sure the system availability is taking care of the essential business services for Delta Airlines. And the third part was maintaining those systems, as where we look at the workflow, identifying where the issue might have been, and engage the right support team to take care of it.
Yeah, so this really shows where Delta is able to move really quickly because you guys have established that platform for IT. So earlier I talked about the 3 steps of a journey a customer takes to get to that platform: driving modernization, investing in operational productivity, and then investing in innovation. Where's Delta on that journey?
Great question, Pablo. I think when we started the journey, we were looking at it as a parallel effort, and not just a linear to look at one and not as we're gaining momentum in one, it will help us to make progress on others. When we're looking at operation efficiency, the first and most important one was to set up the CMDB and making sure we understand it and the relationship between the application and business services and how we can maintain that relationship and have that visibility. The second part was using the ITSM platform to take advantage of that foundation and help out the workflow that it needed to better support the users. And looking at ITOM and AI Ops as the last steps basically in this to help us to gain some efficiency where we can predict some of these work that is coming to us and better focus or effort to automate and take care of that so we gain some operation efficiencies.
You've done a tremendous amount to date, but Majid, I know one of the things that you're always excited about is delivering more outcomes for Delta. So what do you have in store in the future as you think about ServiceNow?
The future path for us, there are in 3 areas. We are looking at automation, AI ops, and process orchestration. In automation, especially on ITSM, we're looking at the intelligent agents and chatbots where we can eliminate a lot of manual responses that the help desk folks are taking care of today. And AI ops give us that ability to predict and react and prevent incidents prior to happen and ensure system availability. And then process orchestration will help us to look at opportunities in areas that we can take those manual effort away and inject some automation that can quickly process some of the workflow that comes to us.
really taking advantage of some of that new innovation that ServiceNow is bringing out. Majid, thanks for being such a great partner. I really wish you and Delta the best, and please stay safe.
Thanks again for the partnership, Pablo, and to all of you guys, stay safe and hope you have a great journey.
Pablo, great insight there to how ServiceNow is helping Delta. That nearly wraps us up for today. Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to finish on?
Yeah, Georgie, we're in unprecedented times, and IT is absolutely the hero. Let's listen to what some of our own employees had to say about it.
I needed equipment from work urgently so I could work from home. Thank you, IT, for helping me get it.
I closed several deals remotely without any hiccups in our systems. Thank you, IT.
We use several engineering tools, and even though we started working remotely, we still met our schedules. Thank you, IT.
Thank you, IT, for all the work you've done to keep us productive over the past few months. And know that ServiceNow is doing even more to deliver into the future.
Well, we may be at the end of this keynote, but be sure to scour the platform and build your agenda to take advantage of the live sessions, labs, workshops, and on-demand content to really get the best of ServiceNow at your fingertips. Please also join me in the other keynotes where you can come and be inspired by the many other ways that we can help you drive rapid change in your company by leveraging the power of now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Georgie Barrett, and enjoy the Knowledge 2020 digital experience. Hi, I'm Georgie Barrett, and I just wanted to quickly tell you about the Knowledge 2020 digital experience. We've got so much amazing content which has been designed to inspire and energize. There are hundreds of sessions and labs that you can take part in. You can sign up to one-on-one consultations with a ServiceNow expert and watch keynotes featuring ServiceNow leaders and industry experts, streaming live and on demand. You know what? Whatever you're craving, I think we have you covered.
Hey, Kirk.
Morning, Russell. Does Kirk seem different to you?
Ever since we gone mobile on the Now platform, he seems more
confident.
It's like he's a different person.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's infectious.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Hello and welcome to the Customer Workflows keynote here at Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. I'm Georgie Barrett. Wherever you're joining us from, there's one thing that we all have in common. We're all living and working in a new normal. Nearly everyone is working from home, and this extends to customer service teams who are currently under an enormous amount of strain by the sheer volume of customer service requests coming in. So for ServiceNow, this has meant helping organizations scale quickly and seamlessly. In just a minute, Farrell Hope will join us to talk about how workflows can connect customer engagement, service operations, and field service so businesses can better serve customers during this unprecedented time. But before I do, I would love to show you the latest Customer Workflows advert from ServiceNow. Have a little look.
If the Now platform solves problems before customers even know about the problems, were they ever really problems? ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Well, let me now welcome Farrell. Farrell, streets, storefronts, schools may be sitting empty, but businesses that are having to provide services, they must go on, mustn't they?
Yeah, that's right, Georgie. Demand for service has absolutely skyrocketed and in every industry and with completely new requirements. So, work from home, that's the most obvious one that we all just went through. It took a little bit of time, but we made that pivot incredibly quickly. But the second requirement is really around making sure that our customers can access all their services and products online. That's, if you hadn't had it done before, you've got to have it done now. But then the most important part and the most important new requirement that's coming out is making sure that customer engagement, that online experience actually connects back to the service operations or the teams that are able to actually get that work done or fulfill that customer request. That's really what the new normal is going to be like in a customer service world.
Is there anyone doing this really well?
A perfect example of this is State of Tennessee. They were able to ramp up their online presence and connect to service operations incredibly quickly. We'd been working with State of Tennessee on their food assistance program. And, this is where we were wanting to make sure that citizens didn't necessarily have to go into an office and stand in line and apply for food assistance. The real magic happened when we were able to take those online applications and connect them to the teams who could actually say, yes, you get food assistance, and process those applications all digitally, and they were able to move 10 times faster than they were before. That food assistance experience gave them the confidence when COVID hit to be able to handle unprecedented volumes of unemployment applications. And so the same thing happened again. They took those applications and they were able to connect to the teams who could process them within 2 days. And they were able to turn around debit cards to the citizens of Tennessee. So we're able to help organizations make these kinds of pivots and shifts and meet these new requirements in every industry.
That's a really powerful example. Can you just break down how you were able to do this for your customers?
We're doing it with 3 things. First, they mentioned customer engagement. This is where we're talking about workflows and automated self-service. Customers can complete those common requests online without interacting with an agent. They're able to leverage an AI-powered chatbot, or they're able to, just make a request with one button press online, and ultimately that service be able to be delivered much faster, bypassing the service agent, getting to the teams that can fulfill it. And then that lets those service agents have capacity and energy to deal with the complex cases, as well as have a much more personal interaction. And just so you know, we've seen this working. We see across our customer base, all the online self-service transactions are up 30% from February to March. So volume's up, it's working, customer engagement is super critical.
Yeah, that certainly sounds great for customers. Now, you mentioned service operations earlier and connecting those teams together. Can you go into a little bit more detail on that?
Those capabilities really revolutionize the agent and how customers' cases connect with the middle and back office teams. And again, those are the teams that actually do the work. They've got the answers. They're the ones that can help fix the problem for customers. Taking all those teams out of spreadsheets and emails and phone calls is digitizing work. And that is so incredibly important right now.
Yeah, it really is. But what about situations that can't be done 100% online or on the phone?
Sometimes providing great customer experiences, it really requires a person to come to the customer. This could be a field technician who might be doing preventative maintenance, or it could even be personal care services, such as home health care, that kind of thing that needs to be scheduled. But it's these 3 main areas: customer engagement, service operations, as well as field service, that on the ServiceNow platform are allowing customer service operations teams to have quality customer interactions and scale at the same time.
So it's customer engagement, service operations, and field service. That's how it gets done. Can you tell us just a little bit more about field service?
I'm going to bring Janine in, and she's going to walk us through a situation that we're all also a little bit passionate about right now, and that's the state of our internet service. So Janine, come on in. Welcome. Tell us all about field service.
I want to tell you a little story about Julie. Julie is a woman who's also trying to work from home right now, but she's got a household full of internet users, and their internet just can't handle it. She's gotten to the point where she dreads every video conference call. Well, she's decided she's had enough and she's going to change internet service providers. Now, there's a little problem with that. We've been hearing about how hold times are longer than ever lately, and Julie doesn't want or really have time to sit around on hold right now. Now, fortunately for her, the new ISP she's chosen, Solana, uses field service management. And one of the things they're able to offer to her is online appointment booking. So I'm going to show you how Julie is able to do this quickly and easily without sitting on hold. So as part of the sign-up process, Julie has to pick an appointment time for someone to come out and do the install. So she's going to choose a date, and of course she wants this as soon as humanly possible. So she is going to pick the nearest available date, a time that works for her, and submit. Now her appointment is confirmed. And it says it's set to assigned. Well, that's because there's a work order underneath that is going to be assigned to someone to come out and help her. And with just a few clicks, Julie was able to very quickly and easily get her appointment booked, and she didn't have to call anyone at all, let alone sit on hold.
Janine, scheduling service on the phone can be such a nightmare. I'm on video calls all day. I don't have time to get on the phone to schedule. We need that online experience that you showed. All right, so tell me about the other part of this experience for the field technician. What's going on there?
Yeah, field service technicians, they don't have the option to work from home like a lot of us are very fortunate to be able to do. They are out and making sure we have electricity or that our grocery stores have functioning cash registers. They might even be busier than normal right now trying to respond to calls. So it's more important than ever that they're able to work both efficiently and safely. Now, I want to show you how we can do that with field service management and the ServiceNow Agent mobile app. That appointment that our customer Julie booked, that created a work order, and that work order was automatically assigned to a technician who has the right skills and the right parts to complete that task. So our technician, Elisa, she gets a notification on her phone through the ServiceNow Agent app that she has a new task assigned to her. So she clicks into that task where she can see all of the key details, who it's for, when, where, and what it is. Now, new customer installs are pretty common, so she has a good idea what to expect with this task. So she's going to accept the task. And that is going to let the dispatcher, who might be working from home or in an office, know that Elisa, our technician, she is on the job. But before she can start heading to the customer's house to do the install, there's something really important that she needs to do. And that is to make sure that she has the right parts on hand to do this task. Fortunately, in this case, it seems our technician already has all the parts she needs, so she doesn't even need to go source any of them.
So, Jeannie, I just want to break in here on this one. I mean, for all our field service managers and dispatchers out there, we know how critical it is to get the right people with the right equipment or the right parts on that very first visit and get it right the very first time.
You're so right, Farrell. First-time fix rate is incredibly important for field service, and this is one of the ways that we can help improve that. So now that our technician knows she has everything she needs, once she's on site, she's going to start work. Again, this is to help let that dispatcher know that she's on site and starting to work on this task. That means the dispatchers can easily know where all of their technicians are at any given time, as well as the progress of every task that is being worked on. Back to our technician, she knows one of the first things she needs to do is get the new customer kit to our customer. Now, she needs to use the part so that we make sure we assign this kit with its modem to our customer, Julie. That means if there's ever a problem with it, or if our customer decides to go elsewhere, Solana knows what assets our customer has and can get them back if they need to. So we're going to use that part. Now it's assigned to Julie. And there's one more thing that our technician needs to do, and that is a questionnaire. Now, a questionnaire is a pretty neat tool. It's highly customizable. It can be a checklist. It can be more of a survey. It can be what you need it to be to make sure that technicians are able to complete the work, follow the process you want them to, and be safe about it. This particular one is very focused on safety. For example, reminding the technician not to go into the customer's residence.
Our process owners or our service designers, they're going to love that questionnaire. It's super simple, but really, really powerful. Anybody designing a service knows how critical it is to have data about the service. These questionnaires can be built for, you can have a questionnaire per service, multiple questionnaires, but all of that data can be mined and then used to actually improve the service, the experience for the customer and the technician. Such a powerful capability that we're offering.
Absolutely. And it's super flexible, right? You can build and rebuild these as needed. So in this case, we've got a few different things that our technician needs to go through. The first was delivering that new kit. She's already done that, so we'll tick the box. Next is taking a look at the line going to the house. So we want to make sure that this is safely accessible. It is, so we'll say yes, do the inspection, the line is good, and now we can submit the questionnaire, which is going to stay linked to this task in the future, and it's going to bring us data that we can look at for things like process improvement, audits, whatever you may need. Now our technician's work is done. She's going to mark this task complete, which is going to close out that work order, and she's ready to move on to her next assignment. With help from field service management, as well as the ServiceNow Agent mobile app, she was able to complete this task in a single visit, quickly and safely.
This high-tech work at home scenario, Janine, it's super relatable right now, but field service can apply to so many other types of situations like remote scheduling scenarios. So think about an insurance agent who needs to come and assess property damage and schedule time to come and do that. Think about a grocery store that's going to have food service, food delivered and products restocked on the shelves. Think about healthcare appointment pickups. All of those are incredible possibilities that you can leverage field service for. Janine, thank you so much for walking us through this.
That was a great way to learn more about field service. Now, a little bit earlier, we talked about customer engagement and service operations. What's the best way to showcase this?
Let's go back to that work from home scenario. This time, Kathy is going to walk us through a demo that's going to show how online customer engagement connects with service operations and how they work together. And by the way, Kathy is the most knowledgeable person that I know about customer technology, and she's a rock star. Hey, Kathy, come on in.
Hey, Farrell. Thanks for the great intro. I want to pick up on Julie's story. We heard how she got her internet set up with a new provider, and she's been working from home for a few weeks, and everything's been going great. So she sits down one morning with her cup of coffee to get online, and she can't connect. And nobody in the family can connect, her kids, her husband. So they do what we all would do. They go to restart the modem and reset the router, but they still can't get online. So I want to show you first what Solana, her provider, does to organize resilient operations to handle unforeseen circumstances like these surges in volume. Julie now does the natural thing. She picks up her phone. She wants to contact Solana to see if they know about the outage. And before she can even get there, she sees a notification come in. And it tells her that they're aware of the outage already and they're working on it. So she's pretty relieved to hear this. It saves her a step. But she has another problem. She's got a meeting coming up in an hour and she really needs to be online. So she clicks in and opens this up, and that takes her directly into Solana's customer service portal, where she lands on her status page for her internet service. She sees something new up here at the top. It's a proactive notification. This is new in Orlando with her case number that's been created for her. But what she really wants to know is what's going on with this case and how soon her internet will be restored. So this is the case information she's reviewing, and she really doesn't see here when the service is going to be back online. But I want to pause here. What you've just seen is how Solana organizes resilient operations to handle unforeseen circumstances. They do it through proactive monitoring of services and proactively notifying customers like Julie when there's a service interruption.
Kathy, our service operations leaders, they're going to love this. This capability is going to change their lives. They're going to be able to communicate effectively in these unplanned situations and help manage those unplanned surges in call volume as well.
That's right, Farrell. And, Janine mentioned earlier, hold times are really long now. So what I'm going to show you next is how Solana expands capacity by automating self-service. So Julie is here on her case, and she sees this chat icon down below. So she thinks maybe she can get some help by chatting. And she's greeted by a virtual agent. So what she wants to know, she just asks her question here, is when her service will be restored. And so she asks the virtual agent that, and it thinks for a second, and it comes back with an update. It's pulling information back from her case. Two important things. First, it sets her expectation by telling her the expected time it's going to take. And then it gives her some additional color on the case by telling her that there's a cut cable and a field technician's been dispatched, right? So this, like I said, helps to set her expectation. And this is how Solana expands capacity by automating self-service, things like a virtual agent connected to backend information and automating processes for customers. That offloads work from the contact center and helps agents as they're handling these unprecedented contact volumes.
Yeah, and the feedback, Kathy, that I'm getting from knowledge managers is once they know what conversation they want to create, the creating it is super, super easy. They're able to get those conversations out there really quickly.
They can. And whether it's financial services, loan applications, surges in volume, government agencies that are doing COVID triage, they can stand these up really quickly, and our customers are doing that, so it's great. The final piece I want to show you is how Solana empowers their agents to resolve customer issues automatically using an intelligent agent workspace. So, I mentioned Julie has a call coming up in an hour. So her sister lives about 20 minutes away, and she wants to find out if her sister's experiencing an outage. So now she just asks this question, types in her sister's address, and the virtual agent processes that. And in this situation, it doesn't know the answer to her question. So it's going to transfer her directly into the contact center to deal with a customer care agent. And now we've switched to the agent workspace. So the agent, his name is John. He's been connected here to chat with her. And it sees everything she discussed previously, including her exact question. Over here on the workspace, there are some new capabilities in Orlando. It's called custom components. This component with insights is from Adobe Experience Platform, and it tells John that she has a high churn probability because she's new and she's having an outage already. The other component is this outage map. So it's data, it's functionality to help agents not have to swivel chair and resolve cases more quickly. And he can just type the address in there, and he looks up and sees that her sister's address is outside the impacted area. Now, before giving her that information, he glances over here, and this area is what connects John to the rest of the organization, all those people involved in resolving issues. And as he glances down, he sees that the situation has been resolved. Field engineering has updated it, the cable's been repaired, and service is going to be restored quicker than they thought in about 15 minutes. So without this, John's really in the dark. He's calling, he's emailing, and he may just lack visibility to be able to provide Julie with good information. So all he has to really do now is come. He can give her that information about the address and about service being back up and running. And that gets Julie on her way. She has the information she needs to make a great decision. And that's how Solana empowers their agents to resolve issues automatically from an intelligent agent workspace. It connects agents to the systems and the teams they need to be able to give great customer service.
Kathy, thank you for such great insight into what's happening today and what's available to be able to connect our customer engagement and our service operations.
Thank you so much, Farrell. And thank you also for watching the Customer Workflows keynote. But this is just the beginning of our content schedule, which we're going to be streaming to you over the next 6 weeks during the Knowledge 2020 digital experience. We really do have something for everyone. So please make sure you scour the platform and build your agenda to take advantage of all the live sessions we've got going on. We've got labs, workshops, got on-demand content. So you can really get the best out of ServiceNow. as for right now, be sure to join me in the other keynotes where you can come and be inspired by the many other ways that we can help you drive rapid change in your company by leveraging the power of now. For now, I'm Georgie Barrett. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. ServiceNow community, hello, I'm Georgie Barrett, here to remind you that the Knowledge 2020 digital experience is filled with specially curated content on all the ways you can unlock productivity through modern digital workflows. Come be inspired by the latest customer and platform innovations so you can continue to create great experiences for businesses.
If the Now platform solves problems before customers even know about the problems, were they ever really problems? ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Hello and welcome to the Employee Workflows keynote here at the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. I'm Georgie Barrett. Now, of course, we are living in uncertain times, but ServiceNow's employee workflows can give you that business continuity. And it's not just about maintaining the same standard. You can also use it to drive productivity and to transform your organization. Ultimately, if there's no friction between the departments, employees are happier. It's science. So today I'm joined by Blake McConnell, SVP of Employee Workflow Products at ServiceNow. Blake, welcome.
Thanks, Georgie. Excited to be here.
Brilliant. Well, before we sort of dig into the main part of the keynote, I thought we'd just show viewers at home your latest advert, because I think it brings to life quite nicely what it means to be truly frictionless.
Have you noticed how well all the departments have been working together since we've gone mobile with the Now platform?
There's no friction at all.
It's neat to see the office running so smoothly.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
So, we saw there what it could be like to be completely frictionless, but to replicate that in the real world is actually something that's really, really difficult to do, isn't it? Can we just go back to basics and talk me through exactly what you mean by employee service delivery?
Our vision is to be the single place for employees to go to get answers to questions, to get broken things fixed, to make requests, to do approvals. And we feel employees should be able to do that across the enterprise, across the various G&A functions. And we feel employees should be able to do that through their interface of choice, be it a browser interface, a native mobile interface, or a conversational interface.
Why so hard? What's the problem?
Let's step back. Employees are on a journey. On that journey, they have moments that matter. Some examples: onboarding, transitions, relocations, broken laptop, need new hardware, need new software, have a payroll question, have a benefits question. These moments can be complex. And oftentimes they're complex because they touch multiple G&A functions. They're complex because they need to interact with various back-end systems, ERP systems, human capital management systems, IT systems, even payroll systems. Ultimately, to deliver a positive experience for employees, there are a lot of handoffs and a lot of coordination. And this is ultimately when problems begin to occur.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I can so empathize with that feeling of just being frustrated and things just not being easy and intuitive to use.
Well, so here's the good news. There is a solution. The solution is employee service delivery on the ServiceNow platform. And the platform is fundamental because the platform delivers intelligent digital workflows and enables integrations with those back-end systems.
So, of course, it's like very important the actual experience employees have on the ServiceNow platform. It's got to be intuitive. It's got to be easy to use. What can they expect?
Number one, we think about a unified experience for employees. That means through a single interface, an employee can interact with legal or interact with HR or IT. Secondly, we think about an omni-channel experience for those employees. The ability for an employee to interface through a browser, to interact through a mobile device, to engage with a conversational interface, maybe an intelligent chatbot. And ultimately, we think about self-service. Employees want self-service and employers want self-service. And self-service in particular for high volume, low value inquiries to really drive productivity.
And there must also be features that actually increase productivity as well.
Awesome. Let's talk about some features. First, we have a virtual agent, a chatbot that ships with natural language understanding.
I'm a big fan of chatbots.
Awesome. Number two, artificial intelligence. We think about AI-based search. This makes quicker access easier to relevant knowledge articles and relevant service catalog items.
Yeah, just bringing that sort of relevant information to the person that's using it. I mean, it makes everything so much more efficient, doesn't it?
Exactly. And number three, targeted campaigns. This is about employee comms, enabling a specific G&A function to push communications to a specific set of employees, and specific based upon granular employee profile data. That's what makes the comms targeted.
Brilliant. It really sounds like you're solving some quite common problems there. Let's sort of speak about it from the side of the agent, the people who actually have to deal with these requests that come in from the employees. What's the experience like for them?
Agent experience and agent productivity is really critical for any company. And we're talking about agents across various G&A functions, HR functions, legal functions, workplace services. These are all agents who handle employee service requests. And our focus is on the agent workspace. This is where the agent spends her or his day. Our focus is on making that workspace domain-centric, relevant for an HR agent, relevant for an IT agent. And then we make the workspace intuitive with playbooks. And playbooks help agents navigate complex, multi-step cases. So using playbook, an agent can see the history of a case, current state, future state, and most importantly, where things are stuck. Also, and similar to the employee experience, we focus on AI, but this is around AI to help agent productivity. And we focus on machine learning. So machine learning for knowledge-based recommendations for specific cases, or machine learning for similarities. This case looks similar to other cases. Would you like a recommended next step? Agents who have better experiences tend to be more productive, and agents who have better experience deliver better employee experience. And employee experience is related to employee productivity. And this is the flywheel of experience and productivity.
Brilliant. So it all feeds into one another. Well, let's start making these things that you're speaking about a little bit more tangible, because we've got two case studies that we're going to talk about today. One from the healthcare industry and one from the business travel sector. I'm going to kick things off with the healthcare example. So Blake, would you like to introduce the story that you've been hearing about?
Of course. Thanks, Georgie. So this customer is a US-based healthcare organization with roughly 53,000 employees. Using ServiceNow, this company is seeing 90% of employee cases handled with self-service. 90%. So how is that happening? Well, employees are self-serving via knowledge-based articles. Employees are self-serving by interacting with virtual agents. And employees are receiving targeted information via campaigns. And this helps answer questions before they even get asked. When is benefits season starting? When does it end? What are the steps I need to take in between? This level of employee self-service enables this organization to support those 53,000 employees with just 16 tier 1 HR agents.
I mean, that's a seriously impressive stat. So you said that's 53,000 employees, and 90% of cases are now handled by employee self-service. That's incredible.
Exactly. It's spectacular.
Okay, so let's now turn to our second case study, which comes from American Express Global Business Travel. They've been using it for their IT and HR department. As one of the world's leading corporate travel companies, American Express Global Business Travel has built its reputation by providing expert services, advice, and assistance to travelers. It's also important for the company to provide a superior employee experience, as well as to recruit, motivate, and retain the best. The company is also supporting a global, largely dispersed workforce that are using the ServiceNow technology to drive adoption of mobile and the new virtual agent. ServiceNow is providing the superior level of support that Amex GBT's new hires and existing employees deserve, and has driven transformation and innovation across the company. Now, Blake, you had the chance to speak to your American Express Global Business Travel client earlier, so I'll hand over to you to introduce their story.
Awesome. Thanks, Georgie. I recently spoke with two executives from American Express Global Business Travel, Patty Court, Director of End User Computing, and Greg Schlotz, Vice President of HR Operations. Understanding how they are delivering for Amex GBT employees was amazing. They are really ServiceNow superstars. Greg, Patty, what has your vision been with employee service delivery?
We really want to provide our employees one place to go to find out all the information or access any of the HR and IT services that they might need. Providing that single point of contact or single access point for that makes it easier for them to find things and gives them better visibility into processes or transactions that might already be underway.
We were looking at delivering a unified portal that really had a personalized approach, a modern design, easy search capabilities with a virtual agent for both IT and HR, and a consistent look and feel across the pages.
Awesome. So great to see IT and HR working together. Can you give us a bit of a historical perspective? How did HR and IT come to work together?
Yeah. So on our kind of first project together was really the onboarding project. And we took a look at our processes there that were really manual and email-based and very time-consuming to get someone onboarded. And we decided to take a look at that, re-engineer the process using the ServiceNow onboarding platform as kind of the basis for that. And we worked together with IT, and it was our first great success, I think.
Yes, we wanted to make sure, along with the HR components of onboarding, that we were able to deliver IT assets to employees. So obviously, that we approached HR to see if they were interested in coming together with IT to deliver, an experience to the end users and really split that, 50-50.
Got it. So the journey, the partnership really started with onboarding. So what's been done so far?
Well, the onboarding project had some really good results. We were able to eliminate about $500,000 of cost that was really associated with all the manual work, about 18,000 hours of tracking a year, and about 300,000 emails that went back and forth during that process. So eliminating all that work resulted in some great savings. And more recently, we actually rolled out a unified portal that took our previously separate onboarding, IT and HR portals and consolidated them into one unified portal that we're calling Snap, along with a virtual agent called Snappy. And that's been out for about 4 weeks now, and we've had some great feedback and success with that.
So some of the key capabilities that we were able to deliver with the unified portal include the global search feature, banners, which is really something that will tie into the lifecycle events, a recommended for use section. Snappy, as Greg stated, our new virtual agent was branded as part of the unified portal rollout. And then, some of the, conversations with Snappy include, just things like password reset, how to get help, and so on.
Awesome. Super cool. So you start with onboarding and then you transition to a unified portal, Snap, and now you have a virtual agent, Snappy. Spectacular. So can you talk a little bit about the feedback or the results that you're hearing from your users?
Yeah, so we just had great feedback. Blake, obviously, just looks great, easy to use. Snappy's my favorite part. They love the virtual agent for both IT and HR, and they love the recommended for you links that they can get our real-time saver.
Wow, really impressive. So what's next? What's next at MXGBT with ServiceNow?
So we're really excited to move forward with Orlando and really enhance our mobile capabilities. So obviously rebranding of our Now app to Snap is going to be a big thing for us. And then obviously the agent app for IT fulfillers and the HR onboarding app.
And we also want to tackle offboarding and really replicate the results that we saw with the onboarding redesign as well.
Spectacular. Mobile, your users are going to love it. And it's fundamental to see HR and IT working together. That is the cornerstone of employee service delivery. So thanks again for your participation.
Thanks for having us.
Great, thanks for that, Blake. Well, now let's turn our attention to virtual agents and mobile. I'd like to bring in Boaz Hecht, who is Vice President of Platform Product Management. Boaz, you really can't underestimate just how important mobile is in today's experience, can you?
That's right. With so many of our customers having employees work from home or in essential roles, mobile is really the only way they can interact with their organizations. Over the past month or so since the COVID-19 outbreak, many of our customers have rolled out mobile and conversational interfaces in order to enable employees to do things with the company. Today, I'm going to demo some of the new innovations on Now Mobile and Virtual Agent. So here's what's new. As of now, you can use mobile publishing to connect with your employees while being true to your brand and being able to use custom distribution with our MDM and MAM partners. To support employees on all the channels they need, we now enable you to run targeted campaigns both on web and on mobile. As Blake mentioned, you can proactively inform employees with campaigns, news, or announcements from your landing page related to COVID-19 today and other important events in the future. When you open the mobile app as an employee, you see critically important information relevant to you. I'm able to see targeted campaigns that inform me of news, events, and announcements. For example, I can see that my company is providing free masks and gloves upon request. So I can click into the banner and order. With recent updates, you also have the capability to provide mobile-first access to critical services like requesting emergency paid leave, payroll questions, and inputting health status. Also, as a company, I want employees to easily find the services they need. During a crisis, some of the critical services like emergency paid leave, payroll questions, and submitting health status should be front and center. At the same time, you can let employees watch suggested videos on keeping healthy or be educated on social distancing. Now, let's discuss Virtual Agent. After adding NLU in New York, you can now use both web and mobile to empower employees to access an intelligent, self-service virtual agent. Our customers have used ServiceNow to connect with employees and enable them to report feeling unwell, changing health status, opening and changing requests related to getting tested, and all sorts of other things. Self-service includes searching for helpful knowledge articles, requesting leaves of absence, and enabling employees to switch shifts or find new shifts, all on mobile. Now, let's talk about another persona, managers. A lot of our customers need different capabilities for different personas. For example, we enable managers to get better visibility on mobile, to see notifications for employee requests, approve or reject them as relevant, and get real-time health statuses with dashboards and visualizations, anywhere, anytime. Finally, following an acquisition we made last year, we recently launched Mobile Analytics to show you how employees are really using your apps and how to improve them with specific metrics around user behavior. And as always, we'll continue to expand those innovations on other interfaces, such as web. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Boaz. That was a really insightful demo. And can I say, your virtual agent looks very polite. I would be happy to interact with it. Blake, it's been a jam-packed show, hasn't it? If there was one thing that you wanted viewers to take home with them today, what would that be?
Thanks, Georgie. I want our audience to embrace employee service delivery. This means unified experiences, right? Think about MXGBT and their unified portal, the Snap portal. They took an HR portal, an onboarding portal, an IT portal, and created a unified experience for their employees. This means omni-channel, right? We focus on meeting the employee where they are. Think about MXGBT with Snappy, their virtual agent implementation. This is all about self-service, where appropriate, as well as the importance of human agents for high-value experiences. And ultimately, we think about experience and productivity, that flywheel, not just for employees, but also for agents. I'm super excited about this track. A lot of great content available, great speakers, great customers, and we'll have sessions covering HR and IT, right? This is really where the employee service delivery journey begins. We'll have sessions covering legal service delivery and workplace services. Yes, employees do engage with legal, NDA requests, privacy requests. Yes, employees do engage with workplace services, and those G&A functions have agents, and those agents deserve a world-class agent experience. Finally, we'll also speak about finance operations management. I genuinely thank you for your time today. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Back to you, Georgie.
Thank you so much, Blake. And that just about wraps up our employee workflows keynote. But of course, this is just the beginning of our content schedule, which we're going to be streaming to you over the next 6 weeks during the Knowledge 2020 digital experience. We really do have something for everyone. So please make sure you scour the platform and build your agenda to take advantage of all the live sessions we've got going on. We've got labs, workshops, on-demand content, so you get the best out of ServiceNow. As for right now, be sure to join me in the other keynotes where you can come and be inspired by the many other ways that we can help you drive rapid change in your company by leveraging the power of now. For now, I'm Georgie Barrett. Thank you for watching and enjoy the Knowledge 2020 digital experience. We'd like to give a special thank you to our premier sponsors, Accenture, Deloitte, DXC, EY, Infosys, and KPMG.
Have you noticed how well all the departments have been working together since we've gone mobile with the Now platform?
There's no friction at all.
It's neat to see the office running so smoothly.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Hello and welcome to the Now Platform keynote here at Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. I'm Georgie Barrett. We're thrilled to have you with us as we explore together the new normal and what it means for businesses in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. And today we'll share with you ServiceNow's formula for success for delivering new digital workflow apps fast when your business needs them the most. Now, before we get started, just a little quick reminder, if you're watching this during a scheduled slot, don't forget to join in the moderated chat and ask your questions. If you're, however, watching on demand, then please use the platform to submit any questions or comments and we'll do our best to respond. Now, I'd like to welcome Josh Khan, who is VP and GM of Platform Business Unit at ServiceNow. Now, Josh, we're obviously living in unprecedented times, a huge amount of change going on. You've got quite a unique perspective on it, though. How are businesses responding to the new norm?
Yeah, thanks, Georgie. It is a time like no other. And we've seen people around the globe that are dealing with situations they couldn't have imagined 2 months ago, and organizations that have had to literally pivot on a dime to focus on business continuity and the health and safety of their employees and customers and partners. And I've been really inspired by some of the people I've seen who've risen to the occasion and literally become heroes in the last several months. There's a common thread, and every one of those people is executing with incredible speed and agility. And in a lot of cases, they've been working on that because they had a digital transformation strategy. that meant they needed to execute faster than the market. They needed to outpace their competitors. So we're going to hear from several of those leaders, and we get to talk to them together and learn what their secrets of success were. And we'll build a playbook that everyone on this broadcast can use.
Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to sort of unearthing those tips and hearing from these thought leaders. But before we dig into that, I first want to show our viewers the advert that you guys have just created, because it's quite fun. Have a little look at this.
Ever since we've gone mobile on the Now platform, something's gotten into the office.
I hear you. Feels like there's no barriers between departments now.
Think everyone appreciates it?
I do.
Huh. Forgot my glasses.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Josh, do you have that superhuman ability of crashing through walls?
I'd love to have that superhuman ability. But what we've really focused on is building ServiceNow App Engine so that our customers have superhuman abilities and they're able to break down silos in their organizations.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's go back to basics. You've touched upon how teams are building digital workflows with App Engine. Can you just explain what a digital workflow is?
Yeah, absolutely. So a digital workflow is a business process that's been built into an application. And that application has a modern consumer-like web and mobile experience. And more importantly, because it's digital, you can measure it. And when you can measure it, you can find risks that you never knew existed. Business process, and you can find opportunities to optimize and automate that business process over time. Digital workflows really are the secret to organizational velocity and digital transformation success.
So where would a customer actually go to find those workflow opportunities?
Yeah, it's amazing. Every customer actually has plenty of opportunities for this. And I think everyone watching the broadcast can follow along and find the opportunities right now. So I want you all to think about a business process in your organization that's a business critical process that someone in a line of business really cares passionately about, that is routed around the organization in email and tracked in spreadsheets. That's a digital workflow opportunity. And ServiceNow App Engine helps our customers build those digital workflows incredibly quickly so that they can rapidly transform their organization.
And we have a great example of this in action, don't we? A mission critical process that was digitized with incredible speed. So Cask is a ServiceNow partner who built a COVID-19 emergency response app to help the city of Los Angeles manage their COVID-19 testing process. Now, Josh, you caught up with Jason Rosenfeld, who's from Cask. Let's have a little listen at the incredible story he shared with you about how they did this in just 48 hours.
Back in March, Mayor Eric Garcetti at the city of Los Angeles wanted to announce drive-through testing for the citizens of Los Angeles. They call them Angelinos there. And what we were having to do was to create an amazing front-end, easy-to-use experience so that citizens could register for their tests, as well as a back end to provide the city of Los Angeles something that was powerful enough to manage and subscribe to those appointments that the citizens wanted to set up. And we built all of this in under 36 hours. But what we also found out over time is that the application scales. At this point, we are now in over 25 locations across not just the city of Los Angeles, but the county. And we've had over 1.5 million hits to the website where this is hosted over the first 2.5 weeks. We actually had over 50,000 appointments that were made through the application in the city.
What is it about ServiceNow App Engine that allows you to build these applications so quickly?
Josh, the App Engine and the ServiceNow platform provide this amazing foundation to start quickly. So we don't have to start from scratch. We can start from the 20, the 40, the 60% solution that much faster and fast forward application development.
I mean, that is a hugely inspiring story, isn't it, Josh?
It is. And what a great organization Cask is. They did this project pro bono. There was no contract in place. They just had a burning desire to make a difference. And as a product person, I love hearing stories about how partners like this and customers have taken the products we build and really made a difference in their organizations or in society as a whole.
That whetted my appetite. Are there any other examples of how the Now platform has helped develop apps in this current environment?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much innovation happening in this space, and innovation is one part of it, but the ability to deliver quickly is an incredibly important part. ServiceNow, in the first week after the pandemic, released 4 applications to the ServiceNow store to help organizations deal with the outbreak. And after that, in the days and weeks following, our partners joined forces and have released dozens more applications. And so now all of the customers out there and organizations out there can go to the ServiceNow store and download applications and be up and running in a matter of days. But that's one part of the speed. The other part of the speed, because all of these applications are built on App Engine, they can be extended and configured to perfectly meet the customer's environment. And we're actually going to hear in a few minutes from Felix Quintana, who took one of those applications, installed it in days, and was able to extend it even more to do things that we didn't think of doing ourselves. So really 2 great parts to the innovation and the rapid delivery.
Brilliant that you have that community that sort of adds to it the whole time.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the critical factors here is that collaboration and that inspiration and the ability to quickly iterate and extend.
But before we do hear from Felix, I'd love for you to dive into a little bit more detail about how digital workflows actually work, especially from the perspective of somebody who wants to build with it.
Yeah, great. I love it. People who want to get their hands dirty.
Yeah, get into the nitty gritty of it. Come on, Josh.
Right. So all of our ServiceNow workflows and products are built on top of the Now platform. An App Engine is the product that allows our customers and partners to build digital workflows for anything they want. An App Engine was purpose-built for digital workflows. So what does that mean? There's a capability of workflows at the core of it. And those workflows have concepts that make it easy to build things for routing tasks or requesting approvals or requesting something get done on your behalf. But it's also tightly coupled with our integration engine. And that integration engine allows you to connect with departmental systems of record, really fulfilling the vision of the platform of platforms, this workflow and integration together. The other piece that's under the covers is in the data model. Our data model has entities in it like tasks, like cases, like incidents, like requests. And when you extend one of those to build a new application, you get a whole lot of the functionality immediately generated for you. You get the user experience, you get the business logic, you get the data model. And so those things coupled together really help you very quickly build a process-centric digital workflow.
Okay, so workflow and a data model is one thing, but as a tech journalist, people are often talking about artificial intelligence and consumer experience. How is the App Engine utilizing those particular technologies?
Absolutely. Those are critically important to any application today. And we've built the user experience layer and artificial intelligence natively into the platform. Specifically on the mobile front, we have a mobile platform that allows you to build applications that are just like the applications you get from an app store. They use the same gestures, and all of your users will know exactly how to operate those applications the minute they put them on their device.
So incredibly intuitive.
Incredibly intuitive, but it doesn't stop at the mobile layer. It extends to the web layer as well. We have a web experience platform that allows you to do the exact same thing. And we have a conversational bot platform that lets you build ways that people can have interactive conversations with chatbots.
Nice. Chatbots, I'm a big fan of.
I know. And a lot of people prefer them as a user interface technology.
Especially us millennials.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about deflecting calls. It's about providing the experience users want. And it's one part of our artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. We have natural language understanding built in to accelerate those chatbots. And we have machine learning that can look at a number of different routes of a process and start making suggestions to automate steps so that your processes move better across the enterprise.
So you're actually getting sort of tips from the AI itself.
That's right. In some steps, you can even allow the AI to make its own decision.
Wow.
Now, the coolest part about App Engine is that anybody can build an application. We have no-code tools that allow citizen developers to build really very powerful apps. And we have tools that let teams of developers build apps together, building very complex applications with lots of business logic and value.
Well, an organization that is delivering the kind of business value that you're speaking about is the state of Washington. Josh, you actually spoke with Tori Hernandez from the state of Washington's Department of Health a couple of days ago. Let's hear what she had to say.
Hi, I'm here with Tori Hernandez from the Washington State Department of Health. And Tori, you just built an application to deal with the COVID pandemic on ServiceNow. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, on January 21st, we activated our incident management team to respond to the COVID outbreak. And after that, we realized that we had a lot of inefficiencies and we had a lot of waste going on. We were doing too much work through email and relying on email to process activation notices. Our CIO, Jennifer McNamara, happened to be the incident commander that was activated at the time, and she knew that we could develop an application to address some of these pain points.
Well, Tori, I know you're not a developer, so what was your role in the project and how'd you work as a team?
It was absolutely a team effort. It was people working within their lane as well as working in another lane. A group of configuration administrators, we were building out what the pages would look like. We were architecting out the tables. We were doing the flow design, which we hadn't done before. We were utilizing the flow designer. We were building out the roles and the responsibilities, also that the developer who was putting in all of these hours could actually go in and do the coding. So really working side by side with the developer and rapidly developing this application in 3 weeks, that was the key to getting this information back out to our customers so they can utilize this application in real time.
Well, that's amazing. You should be really proud of the contribution you and the team have made. And I know this application is available for lots of people in the ServiceNow store. So you've taken it and made it more broadly available. So thanks for your time today. And thanks for the amazing work in helping everyone deal with this COVID pandemic.
Thank you very much for helping us fix this big pain point around our incident response.
It's great hearing these first-hand stories from the front line. And if you want to hear the full story out of Washington State, tune into the CreatorCon channel next week on May the 12th. Now let's go to a leader who has successfully walked this road before. Felix Quintana and the Academy Mortgage team shared their experience about how they grew on the Now platform. Josh, you had the chance to speak with Felix, so let's take a little look.
Felix, you built some simple apps, but your team has now built some business critical applications that are really driving a lot of the business at Academy Mortgage. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Like most organizations, we started out with IT service management for our help desk team. But that quickly grew into, as we saw value in driving business automation through ServiceNow apps. So we have built apps from compliance to post-closing to pricing exceptions for our loan officers.
So that's a great range of applications. Tell us about one you're particularly proud of.
Our flagship application that we call STIP Pro. As a direct lender, we borrow money from warehouse lines that we are then able to originate loans with, and then we turn around and sell those loans to investors. Many of those investors have stipulations or conditions that need to be met before they can purchase those loans. In the past, we had a legacy application where we would manage those stipulations, but it was clunky. Users were having to jump between multiple screens to process those stipulations. What we are able to do with ServiceNow is pull data from our loan origination system, as well as those stipulations from our investors, and put them in a single pane of glass for those people to be able to process those stipulations more quickly and more efficiently.
That's very cool. So you've got a broad range of applications. It's a great profile of a business critical application. How do you think about the value that you deliver and the breadth of the applications you've created?
It's amazing to see as we look at the metrics within the platform. We have built over 50 applications on the ServiceNow platform now. We have 27 departments across our organization leveraging a variety of apps. We process nearly 50,000 incidents or requests through there. But the thing that is really cool is only 15% of those are IT-related tickets. 85% is business-related processes or requests.
Felix, that's impressive delivery from your team. I know a lot of people viewing this broadcast are probably thinking you have a team of 10 or 20 people building all these applications, but the reality is a little different than that. Can you share with everybody the size of your team?
Yeah, we actually have a team of 3, looking to add a 4th in the near future, but I like to think of it as a lean and mean team.
It is definitely a lean and mean team, and that's really fantastic business value that you've delivered.
We had the opportunity to attend a couple of executive briefing sessions at your headquarters towards the end of last year. And one of the things that really resonated with me was this concept of creating a center of excellence and innovation. And I really bought into that, this notion of having a lean and mean team, but also empowering the end users and creating this notion of citizen developers, or as I like to call it, power to the people. So we want to empower some of those citizen developers so that we can empower them to create customization and configuration changes on their own, while allowing my developers to work on the more complex applications that we're building for the business.
Felix, that's an exciting step. That enablement of citizen developers is key for creating speed and agility at scale. I really want to thank you today for joining us and sharing your experience and sharing with everybody on the broadcast the playbook they can use to develop the same kind of speed and agility that you've seen at Academy Mortgage. I really appreciate our partnership, and I really want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you for the opportunity. We really value our relationship as well.
Josh, great hearing your conversation with Felix there. It's really interesting hearing from someone who has been on that journey for 6 years, but you certainly don't need 6 years to make these changes, do you?
No, not at all.
I mean, definitely there is a common theme here that seems to be that you can make huge changes in literally just a week. Have you got any tips for companies who want to be that agile?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you pointed out the critical factor. It's moving fast, generating speed, and having that agility. And what you really want over long term is to get speed and agility at scale. And I think from listening to these leaders, there's a clear playbook emerging, and it's got 3 steps to it. And the first step is getting started, building a first digital workflow that has a business impact.
And that's the catalyst. That's the thing that really starts to change the dynamic within the company.
That is, and it happens every time. And that's where I see organizations move on to step 2, so they can meet the demand that comes into them and really start to scale their output from the IT team, building a small center of excellence and being able to deliver more rapidly to the lines of business.
And that's when you start to see it really grow?
That's when it grows to a point where most organizations say, hey, hold on a minute. I'm not sure I want to keep adding to this COE. I need a new model. And that's step 3 in the model. That's where you start with enablement of the lines of business. And so the COE builds best practices and provides the App Engine no-code tools to the lines of business to do the easy stuff. And the COE stays focused on the more complex applications that really drive business value and require a lot more code. But the good news is the developers in IT have that skill set.
And that's the sort of long-term goal that companies should be aiming for then.
That's it. You described it perfectly in the beginning. It's speed and agility at scale. And that scale part is really a critical part. And that's why you need all 3 steps of this process.
The magic combo, the secret formula, if you will.
That's it. Given out right here today.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, because that just about wraps our Now Platform keynote.
Yeah, and thank you, Georgie. And I want to thank our guests who joined us today to share their stories. And, this really is an amazing, incredible time that we're in. And as we talked about at the front, there's opportunities for everyone to rise to the occasion and be a hero in their organization and their community. And we've shared the playbook today, and now it's up to all of you to take these lessons back to your organization and change tomorrow.
Amazing. So this may be the end of this platform keynote, but it is just the beginning of our content, as we're going to be streaming to you over the next 6 weeks during the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience. We really do have something for everyone, so please do make sure you scour the platform and build your agenda to take advantage of the live sessions, the labs, workshops, and on-demand content to really get the best of ServiceNow. As for right now, be sure to join me in the other keynotes where you can come and be inspired by the many other ways that we can help you drive rapid change in your company by leveraging the power of now. And do tune in next week, that's May the 12th and the 13th, with our 2-day CreatorCon event where you'll hear from top developers, get to participate in hands-on workshops and a hackathon. For now, I'm Georgie Barrett. Thank you for watching and enjoy the Knowledge 2020 Digital Experience.